Is the title race slipping away? Darren Ambrose, first of all, it's incredible that we're having this conversation and it's still only 2021. Are we getting carried away with ourselves? Or after the Brentford game tonight, does it look like City have got it in the bag?
I think City have got it in the bag.
Really? Seriously?
Yeah, I really do. Yeah, look, you know Liverpool are going to come strong. You know they're going to win a few games back to back. They could win 5, 6, 7 on a bounce. But the African Cup of Nations are going to come into play. Yeah. They're going to lose some big players. Chelsea, again, seem like they can drop points out the blue to teams that they shouldn't. We see Leicester. First and foremost, they were fantastic yesterday, Leicester. And they deserved the win.
They were great, weren't they?
And Man City, you just can't see losing. Yeah. What they're doing is making it look easy, and they're making every pundit, every support kind of eat their words. They're doing it without a number 9. I mean, they're Ferran Torres, who's probably the closest to a centre forward, they've sold for nearly treble the money that they bought him for, and they are just making the league look easy. And a few weeks ago, me and Benty and Crooked, we sit here on Darren Brent's boot room and we talk about could be a 3-horse race. It looks like it's going to be lucky to be a 2-horse race at the moment.
Benty, let me put that to you then. Surely this season of all seasons is the one where you can't take anything for granted, you know? An outbreak of COVID that goes through that squad. They're not looked upon favourably for some reason and they have to play some fixtures. Have they got the strength and depth, should that happen, to still win this league?
Well, yeah, but you look at Manchester City, as you've said there, and Chelsea, Liverpool, they're the big three. But when you look at the times that we're in, unfortunately, with COVID and things like that, and you look at Manchester City's squad, you have to ask the question, who can live with them? I mean, Chelsea, you'd have to think with the amount of money that they spend, can they really use that as an excuse in terms of some of the injuries? I don't think they really can, because they spend money every single window. But Manchester City, I mean, I can't see who's going to beat them, because as I said, they're going to lose maybe 1 or 2 to the African nations, if any. And if they do, they've still got 3 or even sometimes 4 good players in each position. I just can't see anyone beating them. I did think it was going to be a 3-horse race right to the very end. I did think it'd be like it was last season, where they pretty much romped it. But this season, you'd have to say, Manchester City have been fantastic again, and I can't see anyone live with them. I think this season is going to be theirs again, but we all know they want that Champions League. Do I make them favourites for that? I do, but I think the league, I don't think it's wrapped up, but you'd have to say they are so strong at the minute, and I can't see anyone beating them.
I mean, what Pep's done, Daz, is when he's come in, they used to concede some goals. They used to obviously beat teams by scoring more than them and conceded 12 goals this season. They just,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Obviously with the acquisition of Ruben Diaz, they've added to their defence. They've got Grealish, Foden on the bench. They're not even playing. Obviously they had their antics, of course.
3 goals as well in one game.
And you know what, that game there, I don't know what you felt, Daz. They went 4-0 up, and we've seen it against Manchester United. They kind of declared at 3-0 and just kept possession. Leicester, brilliant, got back in the game, fantastic. Maddison seemed to be on a one-man mission, and then they just kind of, Man City just felt, well, we'll go again then. Like, it was 4-3, we'll up it again, and then we'll get it to 6-3 and then keep possession again.
Do you know, it's like one of them where, you know what it's like, Daz, when you're getting absolutely battered first half, it's freedom. So Leicester probably came out, passed the ball around, did what they needed to do. Manchester City took their foot completely off the gas, but the moment, obviously, as you said there, Leicester got close to them again. They just put their foot down in an accelerator. 6-3.
I love that casual insult he just threw in there. You'll know what it feels like to get battered.
More often than not, yeah.
I'm really interested in what you both thought of Jurgen Klopp's post-match interview yesterday, because I can't work out if that's him being really clever, playing mind games, or if he genuinely thought, I can feel this title slipping through my fingers as we speak. What do you think, Darren Ambrose?
Listen, he's good at mind games. We know that. The top managers are. And I think he's being clever. I think we've seen managers do that before. The title's over. We're just going to take one game as it comes. No question about it. In the dressing room, they are going to be trying their right. He's going to be saying, this isn't over. Just win what you can. It's disappointing. Look, they can lose to Leicester. Leicester done fantastically. Man City can also lose as well. Let's be honest. They've won 9 on the bounce. It doesn't look like they're going to lose, but they can. We've seen that they had a man sent off. Obviously, Laporte got sent off against Crystal Palace. They end up losing that game. Lost to Spurs when obviously fitness was an issue. So things can happen in football. We know that, and you'll see Manchester City lose again this season. And as long as Liverpool and Chelsea can keep going and keep picking up them results and stick with them as much as they can when they eventually slip up, which, listen, it'll be amazing if they don't at least once. They need to be there to pounce.
Benty, the margins are so fine at the top of this league because, let's be honest, right? Salah scores that penalty in the game last night. It's a different game, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. If he scores that, you'd probably expect Liverpool to go on and win again. But as you said, to stick toe-to-toe with Manchester City is going to be difficult, especially with the gap that they're building at the minute. It's going to be so difficult because you're almost thinking, well, we can't afford to lose a game, because I think Manchester City will lose another game, but if they keep pulling away and you're not picking up the points, it's really, really hard to live with them. But I just think when you've got the strength and depth that Manchester City have got, they can lose. You look at the last couple of weeks, for instance, they spent £100 million on a player, they managed to leave him out. Foden hasn't been playing. They could leave out these players and it make no difference whatsoever. So I still really make Manchester City the favourites. I think Chelsea, Liverpool will be batting it out for second and third, but in terms of finishing above Manchester City, where they are right now, it's going to take some doing.
I mean, don't get mistaken, they've got some big games coming up. Brentford tonight. Brentford, look, they're in no lose situation, Brentford. If they win, everyone thinks fantastic. If they lose, they're expected to lose.
Good side at home.
They've got Arsenal who's on a good run of form. Who knows? They've got Arsenal away. And then they play Chelsea in the league after their FA Cup. So they've got some big games coming up.
Looking back at Liverpool as well, Benty, just for a second, I thought Virgil van Dijk's post-match interview was interesting too, where he said we weren't good enough in the final third. How significant do you think it is that Sadio Mane looks to be misfiring a little bit? Because he missed a couple of sitters, didn't he? Well, maybe not sitters, but he missed a couple of chances.
You definitely say right now, if you looked at that front three and said one had to go tomorrow, it probably would be Mane. I don't think he started off the season relatively well. He has got a bit quiet the last couple of weeks. Well, I'd say for a little while. And you look at the form of Diogo Jota and Salah. Unfortunately, he seems to be the one that's not firing, because I think they're both 1 and 2 in the top goal scoring charts in the Premier League, which is scary. So I think it's the quicker they can get Mane back firing, the better that will be for them to close that gap. But right now, at the minute, I don't know what's going on with him, but he just can't seem to keep the pace with the other two. So, as I said, if you had to ask me to kind of sell one now, and it's sorry to say, you say out the front three, it'd probably be Mane.
It's incredible to say that, isn't it? After 3 months ago, can you imagine having this conversation?
It is, and you've got Firmino coming back into the equation as well, and perhaps Mane might be the one to miss out. He may try something different, but Firmino and Salah and Jota either side to try and get that front three firing again. But listen, Mane's fantastic. We've seen that 100 Premier League goals. You don't get there for no reason, do you, Daz? Let's be honest. You've got to be some player to get there, but he'll come again good. But at the moment, he's just dropped a bit of form.
Is this a proper test for Jurgen Klopp at the moment, right? Listen, I've got to be straight about it. I thought he was a breath of fresh air when he came in, but he's done what I would describe as industrial levels of moaning in the last 3 or 4 weeks, hasn't he? If you're Guardiola, do you sit back quietly and think, this is good, he looks like he might be unravelling slightly?
Look, I think Pep Guardiola's been around a long time. He knows exactly what's going on. He'll know mind games. He's played them himself. I don't think he'll take anything that Jurgen Klopp's into his team, into his feelings. I think he'll just do what he needs to do, which is win football matches. And at the moment, that's what they're doing. I don't think he'll be sitting there watching Sky Sports News thinking, oh, I've got him, because he knows as soon as he takes his foot off the gas and his team does, Jurgen Klopp's going to be right there pouncing at him.
Excellent stuff from the two Darrens there. Thank you very much.